On the news tonight, Osun NAF partner to build Africa's largest aviation city. Senators seek Buhari's impeachment over insecurity. Railway workers stage nationwide strike in UK. Good evening and welcome to the major reports. I am Kayode Adebayo. As part of his administration's relentless effort to rekindle the collective hopes of the citizens, Osun state government has partnered Nigerian Air Force to build Africa's largest aviation city in Idu-Osun. The initiative, according to the government, has birthed the untiring effort to ensure it keeps the dream of having an airport in Osun alive. This is even as Osun State Governor Adegboyega Oyetola today handed over the runway and airport corridor for the commencement of the construction phase of the project. The Chief of Air Staff, Air Marshal Oladayo Amao, who led the Nigerian Air Force delegation to Osun, lauded Governor Oyetola for what he described as a major milestone in the state's history, describing the partnership as another developmental stride in the state. According to him, the aviation city is sequel to the relocation of the Research and Development Center of the Force from Kaduna to Osogbo in 2021, in addition to the existing Nigerian Air Force Institute of Safety and Special Operation Force Group at Ipetu Ijesha. Amao, who was represented by the Principal Director, Air Force Research and Development Center, Air Vice Marshal Moses Onilede, stated that the project will include an aircraft manufacturing plant, a maintenance repair organization, and an unmanned area vehicle production center, amongst others. Handing over the official document of the runway and airport corridor to the Chief of Staff, Governor Oyetola noted that his administration has taken the bull by the horns to ensure that the state keeps the dream of having an airport in Osun alive. He added that the handover ceremony was a testament to the beginning of another mutually beneficial relationship with the Nigerian Air Force to speed up the construction and accelerate the completion of the airport. The Osun State Joint Labour Movement has congratulated the governor-elect, Senator Ademola Adeleke, on his success in the just concluded 2022 gubernatorial election. In a release jointly signed by three Labour Centers chairmen, Comrade Jacob Adekomi, NLC, Comrade Adebowale Adekola, TUC, and Comrade Bayo Adejuma, GNC, said the landslide victory was an indication that Adeleke is a man of the people. The Joint Labour Movement then pray that God grants the governor-elect wisdom and strength to administer the state successfully in order to put smiles on the faces of the citizens of the state. There were strong indications that two terrorist groups, the Islamic State West African Province and Boko Haram, were planning to attack some states in the northwest, north central, and southwest. Reports say that security agencies had got a security report that ISWAP and Boko Haram planned to attack Lagos, Kaduna, Kogi, Katsina, and Zamfara states, as well as the Federal Capital Territory. It was learned that there was a leaked memo from the headquarters of Nigerian Security and Civil Defense Corps, which alerted state commands to the planned attack. The NSCDC spokesman, Shola Odumushu, when contacted, said the memo did not originate from the security agencies. However, his state commandant, who confirmed the memo, said security officials had been directed to keep mum over it in order not to cause panic. Following the alert, security was beefed up in Abuja to forestall a possible attack by ISWAP and Boko Haram. It will be recalled that the elite Presidential Guard Brigade was attacked by gunmen along the Buhari-Kubwa Road, where a captain, lieutenant, and 6 soldiers reportedly lost their lives. The Deputy Speaker of the House of Representatives, Honorable Idris Wase, has disclosed that the Directorate of Security Service issued 44 security reports ahead of the attack on the Correctional Service Facility, Kuje Area Council of Abuja. Recall that over 800 inmates, including members of the Boko Haram, were freed by the insurgents who invaded Kuje Maximum Prison this month. The Deputy Speaker confirmed this after the lead debate on the motion, sponsored by Honorable Abubakar Yilma, APC Jigawa, on the need to halt the proposed nationwide ban on commercial motorcycles. Speaking earlier, the sponsor of the motion, Honorable Yelman, who called for the suspension of the policy pending the provision of the palliative to cushion the effect of the ban on motorcycles across the country, solicited the House intervention. Senators, mainly of the minority bloc and some belonging to the All Progressives Congress, have called for the impeachment of President Buhari over the worsening insecurity in the country. They gave the President Buhari 6 weeks to curb insecurity or face a formal notice of impeachment from them. The senators staged a walkout at the plenary when Senate President Ahmad Lawan refused to accede to a motion moved by Minority Leader Philip Aduda that the Senate should debate the cases of rising insecurity in the country. The senators, who braved newsmen after walking out on the Senate, insisted that they had, during their closed-door session, which lasted for 2 hours, agreed that they should debate the issue of insecurity and give Buhari an impeachable ultimatum notice. They expressed anger towards Lawan, who refused to abide by their resolution after reverting to plenary session after the closed-door meeting. Those at the briefing include some APC, PDP, ANPP, and APGA senators. The Nigerian Labour Congress and its affiliate unions today continue their solidarity protest in Abuja in support of the 5-month strike by the Academic Staff Union of Universities. The NLC president, Comrade Ayuba Waba, and the presidential candidate of the African Action Congress, Omoyele Sowore, among others, are currently leading the Day 2 protest in solidarity with ASU in Abuja. Reports say the unions defied warnings by the federal government and took to the street to protest against the failure of the federal government to resolve the 5-month strike by ASU. Specifically, the NLC said the money the two major political parties, the All Progressives Congress and the People's Democratic Party, generated from the sale of forms to aspirants could address ASU's demands. The protesters converged at the Unity Fountain and continued with the 2-day protest in Abuja over the prolonged strike by university workers across the country. The protesters plan to march down to the National Assembly, where the NLC president would deliver a message from the labor unions to the lawmakers. The House of Representatives has passed through the second reading a bill seeking to amend Section 11 of the Central Bank of Nigeria Act 2007 to bar the governor, deputy governors, or directors of the Apex Bank from partisan politics. The proposed legislation, titled Bill for an Act to amend Section 11 of the Central Bank of Nigeria Act 2007 to add more conditions for disqualification and cessation of appointment as governor, deputy governor, or director of the bank, and for related matters, was sponsored by Honorable Sada Soli. While leading the debate, Honorable Soli said the bill seeks to add more provisions to the Principal Act for disqualification of the governor, deputy governors, or directors of the Apex Bank who take part in partisan politics. Soli, however, said the bill is intended to restore its credibility from the shock it had suffered in the course of interpreting the existing law and not against any individual. The proposed amendment is not unconnected with the failed presidential ambition of the CBN Governor, Godwin Emefiele. Residents of Isiah Community, Kajolaile in Osogbo, have expressed gratitude to the lawmaker representing Osun Central Senatorial District at the National Assembly, Senator Ajibola Bashiru, for the construction of a health center in the community. The residents expressed the gratitude during the official handing over of the health facility by the officials of the Federal Ministry of Works to Senator Ajibola Bashiru. Our reporter, Oluchi Amuda, completes the report.
Isiah Community, located within Kajolaile area of Osogbo, Osun State Capital, has for several years yearned for a functional health center that will cater for the health needs of the people of the area, most especially pregnant women, nursing mothers, children, among others. The people have had to go to long-distance areas such as Iludun and Akede to access primary health care facilities wherever they are in need of it. The story has, however, changed as a lawmaker representing Osun Central at the Upper Legislative Chamber, Senator Ajibola Bashir fulfilled his electoral promise to the people of Isiah Community through the construction of the primary health care center. Senator Bashir, who was represented by his personal assistant on political matters, Honorable Mutoiro Olanrewaju, or the official handing over of the facility, said the people of the community have earnestly yearned for the health facility where they will have access to qualitative healthcare delivery, and that he merely fulfilled his electoral promise to them. Senator Bashir called for more support from the people, adding that he will continue to provide quality representation and more dividends of democracy to the constituents. He equally enjoined the people to make good use of the facility by taking proper care of it.
All what we are doing is on request, because you cannot do something for people in which they don't need. So when this community requested for maternity, we have done it for them. So in some other places, they requested for water. We have done many boreholes, our solar borehole. In some places, they requested for transformer. We have provided it for them.
The team leader from the Federal Ministry of Works, Mr. Samson Okwebiyi, who supervised the construction of the center, stated that the facility meets the specification laid down by the ministry.
We have a team. We have engineers and QS and architects. So we, starting from the beginning of the job, we've been coming to inspect the work. And based on what is in the bill, I think what he did is in conformity with what we have in the bill.
Chairman of Isiah Community Landlords Association, was full of appreciation to Senator Ajibola Bashir for fulfilling his electoral promise to the people, adding that the gesture is an indication that he is a man of his words. He equally enjoined members of the community to reciprocate the noble gesture of the lawmaker by giving him their support at all times in his future endeavors.
Senator Ajibola Bashir need the maternity say anile lobby maternity.
Oluchi Amuda, OSBC News.
The Director General of Osun State Broadcasting Corporation, Mr. Rashid Folaranmi, has emphasized the need for parents to invest on the education of their children. He stated this at the 36th Validatory Service of Gov International School, Ejibo. The Director General, who was represented by the Deputy Director of Marketing in OSBC, Mr. Opeyemi Salam, also advised the graduating students to further their education by building on the educational foundation they have laid. Mr. Folaranmi, who was the chairman of the occasion, enjoined the graduates to acquire the right education, stressing that education is the most powerful weapon to change the world. In a lecture titled Determination to Keys to Achieving One's Goal, Professor Taiwo Akiniro enumerated the key traits to successful self-determination, which according to him are to define one's success path, noting that keeping one's expectation high, understanding one's ability, and setting high goals, strive to meet goals and adopt the use of technology. Dignitaries at the ceremony include His Royal Majesty Oba Usman Oyetunji Titiani, Oni Mosumola II, Olasoko of Isoko, Mr. Oluwasegun Onatola, Tutor General, Osun West Education District Office, Prince Tunde Ajiboye, former Director, Osun State Ministry of Education, and Alaja Titilayo Olawowo. The management of Rex Varsity Schools Cluster has reiterated its commitment towards producing students of global standards who are morally and academically sound and can compete with their counterparts all over the world. The proprietor of the school, Mr. Shitu Ajibade, stated this at the graduation and end of the year events of Rex Varsity Schools Cluster in Osogbo. Ayobami Akomalafe completes the story.
Prize giving and graduation ceremony organized by Rex Varsity Schools Clusters held at the school premises in Osogbo had in attendance parents, academic erudites, teachers, and pupils of the school. Speaking with OSBC News, the proprietor, Mr. Shitu Ajibade, was filled with gratitude to God and the parents for trusting the school enough to give their children the best education they deserve, and reaffirmed the commitment of the school in achieving its aim of raising world-class leaders who will be able to compete with other counterparts all over the world. He added that the school focuses on both academic and moral upbringing of the children, with availability of high qualified teachers who are committed to achieving the mission and vision of the school.
As of now, one of our students who produced an album is the one demonstrating So such are the kind of things we are producing in Rex Varsity, because we believe in self-reliance, and we are celebrating achievement and success and the kindness and help of God so far. All glories belong to God.
Speaking at the event, one of the special guests of honor, Mrs. Mujibola Kayode-Oke, advised parents to place their utmost focus on the upbringing of children, emphasizing on the effect of good food and not allowing themselves to be carried away by pursuit of economic gains. The event features various presentations from pupils who showed their parents and loved ones as they showcase their God-given talents. Some of the parents who spoke with OSBC News in separate interviews, including Mr. Olalekan Ajadi and Mrs. Bakari, appreciated Rex Varsity School clusters for not compromising the trust they have in them by retaining the tenets of qualitative education. The management at the event announced that the school will vacate on Friday, 29th of this month, and informed the general public who wish to enroll their children in the school about the entrance exam slated for 8th of August. The event climaxed with the presentation of certificates to the graduating students, as well as presentation of prizes, outstanding performances. Ayobami Akomolafe reporting for OSBC News.
You are now welcome to our sports segment. Nothing is like sports when it comes to bringing people together, as it has continued to be a factor of unity among Nigerians, just as the news of the new world champion in 100-meter hurdle, Tobiloba Amusan, took the minds of Nigeria off the present challenges in the country. In this special report, Omatayo Adebodo of our sports desk takes a look at the beginning, rise, setback, and records broken by the world Tobi Amusan on our way to global prominence. Our report.
Tobiloba Ayomide Amusan, born in Ijebu-Ode, Ogun State on April 27, 1997. The athlete shone at inter-house sports and inter-school competitions while attending Our Lady of Apostles at secondary school, Ijebu-Ode. It wasn't long before she started dominating our events. Fresh-faced and just out of secondary school at 16, Amusan won a silver medal at the 2013 African Youth Championship in Warri. She also claimed gold in the 100-meter hurdles at the 2015 African Junior Athletics Championships in Addis Ababa. In 2015, while making her African Games debut as 18-year-old, she won the gold medal in the 100-meter hurdles. In 2016, as a freshman for the University of Texas at El Paso, Amusan became the second athlete for the university to be named CUSA Female Track Athlete of the Year since the UTEP joined CUSA. She was the gold medalist in both the 100-meter hurdle and the 200-meter. She also claimed silver in the long jump at the CUSA Championships. Amusan first broke the 13 years barrier in the hurdle with a time of 12.83 seconds at the El Paso UTEP Invitational. This eclipse came Tona's hurdle UTEP record, which had stood for 33 years. She was runners-up also at the 2016 NCAA Outdoor Championships in the 100-meter hurdle. She ran a windy 12.79 seconds behind Jasmine Camacho Queen. Amusan also competed at the 2016 World Junior Championships in Bogdaze. Despite running a second fastest time ever, she placed 5th in the final. She went on to represent Nigeria at the Rio Olympics Games, reaching the semi-finals in the 100-meter hurdles. The 25-year-old Oluwa Tobiloba came to prominence outside Africa at the 2018 Commonwealth Games in Australia, when she breezed past 2015 world champion Daniel Williams to shockingly claim the gold. She was also a bronze medal in the 4x100-meter relay with teammates Joy Udu Gabriel, Blessing Okabari, and Rosemary Chukuma. Later in the year, she grabbed her first African championship title in the specialist event and a gold medal in the 4x100-meter relay in Asaba. It has not been smooth sailing through for the hurdler. Last year, Amusan thought she had broke the 100-meter hurdle African record during the Olympics trial at the Yaba College of Technology, Lagos, after easily winning her event. But she was dazed after discovering that electronic timer had malfunctioned and failed to display the time at the end of the race. Her hand timer recorded 12.3 seconds, and that should have been enough to crash Gloria Alozier's African record of 12.44 seconds set in 1998, but she was hard done by. She quickly overcame this drawback to become the first Nigerian athlete to ever win a World Athletics Diamond League trophy, placing first in the women's 100-meter hurdle final in 12.42 seconds to break Alozier's 23-year record to become the undisputed Africa's fastest hurdler in the women's category. And from there, there's been no stopping the Ijebu Ode-born girl, whose desire to succeed has been a driving force. At last year's Olympic Games in Tokyo, she missed out on a podium finish after coming fourth in the final, despite some eye-catching performances in the heats to the final. At the previous Games in Rio, Brazil, she ended up in 14th position after reaching the semi-finals. At her previous appearances at the World Championship 2017 and 2019, she finished 14th and 4th respectively. Some even tagged that the nearly woman following the near misses, but the athlete never gave up. She believed in herself and her abilities. On November 7th, 2016, she wrote on her Twitter, and predictably too, unknown now, but soon I will be unforgettable. I will persist until I succeed. That was 6 years ago, but it was just a matter of time before she surmounted the 10 hurdles before her to global prominence. Toby Amusan broke down in tears as the Nigerian national anthem was played in Oregon, USA. She was on the podium not as a number 3 or number 2, she was number 1. A prophecy of 2016 became real. She had just emerged winner in the 100-meter hurdle, winning in 12.06 seconds to become the first Nigerian world champion ever. Her journey to global reckoning has been quite astonishing. It will be recalled that Amusan opened her 2022 season by winning the 2022 Diamond League event in Paris, where she set an African record by 0.1 seconds with a time of 12.41 seconds. She won gold in the 100-meter hurdle at the 2022 African Championship in Mauritius, defending her title successfully with a time of 12.57 seconds. She also competed in the women's 4x100 and won gold. Later in 2022, she competed in a Diamond League meeting, finishing second with a time of 12.60 seconds behind Olympic champion Jasmine Tamako Queen. Amusan entered the 2022 World Championship as a medal contender after back-to-back fourth-place finishes. In the heat, she ran an African record of 12.40 seconds, bettering her old record by 0.1 seconds. In the semi-finals, she set a new world record of 12.12 seconds. She bested her time once again in the final, running 12.06 seconds, becoming the first Nigerian world champion at the World Athletics Championship. Though African and Commonwealth champion, breaking several records on her way, she never caught it at the global stage, where it mattered most. Here are some record-breaking feats from the 25-year-old world champion. In the World Championship preceding her emergence as the recipient of Nigeria's first-ever World Championship gold, Amusan had produced a jaw-dropping world record in the semi-finals, smashing the previous mark of 12.20 seconds.
And on the foreign scene, some railway workers in the United Kingdom have staged a nationwide strike as wages have failed to keep pace with the UK inflation currently at its worst. Oluwatomisin Oyeyemi has details of this and more from a foreign desk.
Some 40,000 railway workers in the United Kingdom have staged a walkout over pay, job security, and working conditions as the country battles its worst cost of living crisis in decades. The nationwide 24-hour strike brought the rail network to a virtual standstill, with only 1 in 5 trains running. Mick Leach, General Secretary of the National Union of Rail, Maritime and Transport Workers (RMT), said strikes were necessary as wages had failed to keep pace with UK inflation, currently at a 40-year high and set to worsen. He said that the government needs to stop their interference in the dispute so the rail employers can come to a negotiated settlement with them. Meanwhile, gas prices have soared after Russia further cut gas supplies to Germany and other Central European countries after threatening to earlier this week. European gas prices rose 9%, trading close to its earlier all-time high after Russia invaded Ukraine, and critics have accused the Russian government of using gas as a political weapon. Russia has been cutting flows through the Nord Stream 1 pipeline to Germany, with the government's anti-corruption watchdog, the Ethics and Anti-Corruption Commission (EACC), recommended that 241 candidates be disqualified from running, but only 5 were. Philip Kagucha, the ACC's deputy director, said that the politicians who crafted the constitution ensured they had a backdoor, which leaves the EACC vulnerable to unethical leadership. Oluwatomisi Oyeyemi for OSBC News.
And that ends the major reports on OSBC TV. Thanks for watching. Good night.
Ọ̀gá mi dúró jàre gbọ́ránù kó lánú pẹ̀lú fún mi jọ.
Ọ̀gá mi ẹ wo mi ò mọ bó ṣe ń ṣe mí jàre. Òbẹ́bí wo jọ fún mi ní àwọ̀ pa kò fèrè tábàsì àti ògógóró díẹ̀ ó dàbí ẹni pé ibà ń ṣe mí.
Wò ó kànjọ́ ó dàbí pé ò fẹ́ràn ààrẹ rárá tó yẹ kó lọ sí ilé ìwòsàn kí wọ́n ṣe àyẹ̀wò rapid diagnosis test fún ẹ.
Àbí o jẹ́ màá wọ́n tiẹ̀ ohun tó ń bá àwọn lẹ́dọ̀ jẹ́ nìyẹn.
Ẹ wò kí n máa parọ́ ó dàbí ẹni pé rapid diagnosis yẹn gan ni mo nílò báyìí.
Ó jẹ́ má gẹ̀rẹ́ láwọn ṣáà lọ sí ilé ìwòsàn kó sọ fún wọn pé o fẹ́ ṣe àyẹ̀wò àrùn ibà tó bá dẹ̀ jẹ́ òótọ́ ló ní ibà rí i dájú pé egbòogi ACT ló rà.
ACT àbí kíni?
Bẹ́ẹ̀ni artemisinin-based combination therapy ACT òun ni ìjọba àpapọ̀ fọwọ́ sí fún gbogbo ènìyàn.
Èso bébì mi má bínú ìgbà mi ìṣó yí ẹ wo ìyá wa ẹ ṣe yìí ẹ ṣe gan ọ̀gá mi staff ni màmá yìí.
Láti ní orílẹ̀-èdè Nàìjíríà tí kò ní àrùn ibà kó ipa tirẹ̀ o. Ìkéde yìí wá látọ̀dọ̀ ìjọba àpapọ̀ ilẹ̀ Nàìjíríà pẹ̀lú àjọṣepọ̀ àwọn àjọ tó ń gbógun àrùn ibà.
StarTimes ti dé pẹ̀lú eré alárinrin white flower. Bí ẹ ti mọ̀ pé a fẹ́ràn yín la ṣe pinnu láti ṣe àfihàn white flower eré òde òyìnbó sí èdè Yorùbá fún ìgbádùn yín. Agbẹjọ́rò Dante Cruz àti aya rẹ̀ ló ṣèkúngẹ́ ikú òjì lọ́wọ́ àwọn agbanipa látàrí ẹ̀rí ìwà àjẹbánu èyí tí ó ń tọpinpin lórí gómìnà Julio Andante àti ọmọ rẹ̀. Ṣùgbọ́n orí kó ọmọ wọn Lílì yọ ní ọjọ́ náà. Ta ló pa mòfin ọ̀hún? Kí ni padàbọ̀ Lílì sílùú Andante? White flower yóò mọ̀ wá sójú ìwòran lórí ìkànnì ST Yorùbá lóṣù karùn-ún yìí láti ọjọ́ Ajé sí ọjọ́ Ẹtì dédé aago 8 àṣálẹ́ lórí ìkànnì táwa yìí ST Yorùbá ọmọ káàárọ̀ oòjíire.